Hello everyone. Today I will show you how to use list partitioning in a table. This is a very useful feature. When you have a lot of data in a table, you may encounter a situation where querying data is very slow and you don't want to spend a long time waiting for the results. Now you can use the partitioning function to solve the problem of poor query performance. This video uses list partitioning to achieve this goal. Now let's log into the MySQL instance and go to the test database. In the test database, we create a test partition table called H2. Take a look at this table. It has two columns, C1 and C2. Next, we need to specify the partition type of this table. It is list partitioning and there are two partitions, P0 and P1. Now, I insert three values into H2 table and then execute table H2 to check the data of table H2. All the data has been inserted into the table. We can use this SQL statement to view the partition information of the H2 table. We can see that there are two rows of data in partition P0 and one row of data in partition P1. If we want to know the detailed data of the H2 table P0 partition, we can execute select asterisk from H2 partition P0. Similarly, we can also execute select asterisk from H2 partition P1. To view the data of another partition, you will find that the total number of rows is equal to the corresponding data in information_schema.partitions. You can also find the corresponding files in the MySQL data folder. The two partitions in the table correspond to the two files in the MySQL data folder. What happens if we insert data that does not match the partitions? Now, let's truncate the table and do some tests. We insert 3, 5 into the H2 table, but 3 is not in any partition, so this insert fails with the error. As you can see, no data is inserted into the H2 table. Now, let's insert data into the H2 table again, but some of the data is in the partition. What will happen? We find that in addition to the error, all data insertion fails. If we want to ignore the data that does not exist in the partition, we need to insert the data that matches the partition into the table. What can we do? We can use the keyword ignore, as shown below. I made this GIF to describe the steps. This data is inserted into the logical H2 table. In reality, this data will be written to two different files named H2 #P P0.ibd and H2 #P P1.ibd. When 2, 5 is inserted into the H2 table, the value 2 matches the partition P1 column value, so 2, 5 is written to the database physical file, H2 #P P1.ibd. When 6, 10 is inserted, the value 6 does not match any partition column value, so the value 6, 10 is discarded. When 7, 5 is inserted into the H2 table, 7 matches the partition P0 column value, so 7, 5 is written to the database physical file, H2 #P P0.ibd, and so on. Now, the data matching the partition is inserted into the H2 table. Thank you for watching. See you next time.